Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast but too afraid that it may cost you too much money? Well, guess what? There's an easy way to do that with the Anchor app. The best thing about it, it is $0 and free cents. It is completely free. The best thing about Anchor is that there is a creation tool that allows you to edit from either your computer or from your phone. Anchor also will distribute all of your podcasts through Spotify, Apple Music, and all other streaming services, so you won't have to worry about a thing. You can also make money from doing your podcast, doing sponsorships like this with no minimum listenership. And the best part about your podcast is that everything is going to be in one place. Using Anchor for me has been a wonderful experience. It's so easy to do, and you can do it all from your phone, or if you want to do it on the computer, you can do that as well. All you have to do is go to the website, anchor.fm, or you can download the free Anchor app. All you got to do is type in Anchor on iOS or Google Store, and you can start recording your podcast today. Welcome back to the Chandler Burton Podcast. I am your host, Chandler Burton, and today I got two special guests with me today. I have my sister Callysta back. How you doing?
Pretty good.
That's what I like to hear. And we got a new guest, my friend Anton. Anton, how you doing?
Good, thank you for having me.
Dude, look so so polite. All my friends were like, yeah, no problem. But Anton's like, thank you for having me. So happy May 4th, even though this is not recorded on May 4th. It was kind of fun because we wanted to... I did a Star Wars podcast a little while ago, but it was kind of vulgar, and actually I got in trouble for it, so I had to flag it as inappropriate to the Derby. So I had to change it. So hopefully this one will be a little bit better. So happy May 4th. I brought these two on here today because we're just going to talk about Star Wars. We're going to go through each of the movies, just give our thoughts and opinions on them, just have a really light conversation. We're going to go through them in chronological order. So when we go through them, you're going to notice some movies may be a little out of place. That's just because this is where it takes place in the timeline. But I first want to go and ask these guys. I'll give my thoughts too. But Callysta, how'd you get into Star Wars, and why do you like it so much? Put you on the spot there.
I remember
Me.
Well, partially you, but we also watched Star Wars in school one time. I don't remember what grade though. But I like it because it's just cool.
It is cool.
Just, it looks cool.
And by the way, she's the only one wearing a Star Wars shirt right now. No one can see it, but awesome, cool.
Not on purpose.
I know, that's all right. All right, Anton, what about you, dude? How'd you get into Star Wars, and why do you like it so much?
Growing up, I used to watch it a lot with my dad, and something about Anakin, he just got me. I had to keep watching it. I had to keep going for Anakin.
For Anakin? Yeah, dude. That's hilarious. Cool, man. That's awesome. I don't know. I've always just liked it. I remember in 8th grade, I had pneumonia really bad. I was super sick. And they had a Star Wars marathon on FX. So I was like, okay, the only movies I saw were the ones, the prequels, which we'll talk about first. So I watched them all, and I watched A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi. I was like, dang, dude, these are actually really good movies. These are actually really sick. So then ever since from there, I've just loved everything about Star Wars. I love the world. I love the video games, the books, like everything about it. I just love. So I figured, hey, why not? Let's go through the movies. We'll talk about them, and we'll have a good time. So as I said, we're going to start with the first couple of movies, and then as always, we will take a little break to play a song in between, and we will go from there. All right, guys. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
That's sir. Wow, that's so polite. Anton, you've really grown up, dude. I've known Anton my entire life, so that's all right, guys. So the first movie we're going to talk about, we're just going to give our thoughts and just talk on it. We're going to start with the prequel trilogy. Kind of left a bad taste in people's mouths for some people. We're going to first start with the Phantom Menace. Now, this was a movie that was hotly anticipated back in 1999. Everybody was lining up for it. Everybody was dressing up for it. Back when you can actually have lightsabers and bring stuff into the theater. You can't do that now because of, people think it's considered a weapon. But most people, I was really young when I saw this movie, but most people did not like this movie. They're like, this is one of the worst movies ever. It was after all that waiting for Return of the Jedi, we got Phantom Menace, and it just, some people said it's like the worst one. Now, go ahead and give your thoughts on it. What do you guys think of Phantom Menace? Just, you could be as harsh as you want, or if you liked it, you could say that you liked it.
I wouldn't say it's the worst one.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite, though.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not one I would, like, if I was like, I'm feeling some Star Wars, let's watch Phantom Menace, it wouldn't be that. But, like, I'd watch it. If somebody wanted to watch it, I'd be like, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen it in a while, just because, like, yeah, it's not the one I'd put in first. It has its moments that are okay. So some of it's a little boring, I would say. But.
Yeah, a lot of it's definitely boring. You're right, it's got some cool moments in it, but it's just, it's so slow. Anton, what'd you think of the movie, dude?
Honestly, Phantom Menace isn't one of my favorites, but it's not, like, on my top, like, worst list. I did enjoy it, but I thought the pod racing was cool, but I think it took up a lot of time in the movie, and we could have seen more of, like, Qui-Gon in that. Because it's kind of, I hate how he died so early.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Just got him. I was like, that's great. Absolutely. No, I agree with that. I like that. That's really cool. I think another problem with the movie for me was that they casted Anakin way too young. I was like, that was a huge mistake because it makes it really weird with Padme and him.
Looks exactly.
She looks the same, and he's like 10 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that like when we switched to the next movie because I was like, looks like he's 5.
Yeah.
Like a little older. But
yeah.
Like, the next movie, he's like, I don't know, he grew up a lot, and she looks exactly the same.
It's like it doesn't. Literally, it doesn't make any sense. And I'm telling you, I love George Lucas. I think he's a mastermind at creating this world. But when it comes to writing and directing, he's terrible. He doesn't know how to tell. He doesn't know how to like. He needs to like write the story and have someone else direct it because his writing and making that choice, awful. Just awful.
The kid did fine.
Yeah,
like he was an okay actor. He just is really young.
Yeah, a lot of people. It's funny. A lot of people give Jake Lloyd so much crap. He actually struggles with really bad like depression because people just gave him so much crap for playing Anakin. I was like, honestly, dude, he's a better actor than I am. He was an okay kid actor. He wasn't like honestly, no kid actor is like phenomenal.
Like,
it's great. It's like amazing. I honestly, he did fine. He's a little annoying, but he's just a kid. So I'm just like, it just is what it is. Yeah, that was my biggest problem, is that Anakin was too young. I think if Hayden Christensen would have done Phantom Menace, I think it would have made a lot more sense. Because he still would have been pretty young. He still would have been, like... And then because he grown up with Padme.
They also could have, like... They could have used, like, CGI and made him look younger if he didn't look young enough or whatever. But
yeah, that's true. They could have. Also, I don't hate this movie. Well, mainly, I like the pod racing, and of course... Darth Maul, but he goes, he just, they kill him quick. He comes back, obviously, in Clone Wars, but, I mean, the show, but.
He doesn't have enough time on, like, the big screen, though, of movies. Like, yeah, he comes back in the show, but, like.
Yeah, I want to see him, like, live action.
Yeah, I love his voice.
He just
I know.
So dark.
So sick, I know. He was really cool. I was like, man, he just went out like no other. I was like, God, that sucks, man.
Obi-Wan really just
got him like, I know, just cut him like it was like a piece of toast, just in half, dude. It's like, what the heck? But no, it was cool. And then Yeah, I mean, honestly, and then, of course, we got to talk about I almost forgot to mention him. We got to talk about Jar Jar Binks. Honestly, you know what's funny about Jar Jar is I actually don't hate him, because without him, the movie would be so boring, and I have nothing to laugh at. So honestly, I don't even hate Jar Jar that much. I'm going to be serious about that. Melissa!
I think he's stupid.
He's really dumb, but he cracks me up, so I just don't...
He's kind of annoying.
Oh, he is annoying.
That's what makes him funny. Yeah.
I know, but...
It's like... Yeah.
Because the rest of the movie is about, like, a tax federation. Like, no kid wants to watch a movie about taxes.
It's just really random, though, that they're like, yeah, we're just gonna throw in this weird-looking dude. He's just gonna make jokes.
Yeah, it's funny, too, because, like, there is a behind... I don't know if you guys have seen it. There's a behind the scene where George Lucas is watching a part of the movie, and he was like, ooh, I may have made a mistake. Like, with Jar Jar, he's like, oh, I might have used him too much. I was like, oh, well... He's like, well, it's too late to fix it now. We'll just throw it in there. I'm like, oh, that's not good. So, okay. So that's pretty good on Phantom Menace. Overall, out of 10, what would you guys give this movie? Sincerely, what would you give it out of 10?
Maybe a 6. I really like the scenery on when they go underwater.
I do too, actually. That's actually a really cool scene. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Honestly, for 1999, it looks pretty good.
Yeah,
for its time, looking at it now, you're like, oh. But for its time, I know it was definitely good. 6 is good. I probably agree with you, actually. I'll probably say it's like a 5.5, 6 for me.
I was going to say like a 5.
5. That's not bad. Honestly, it's a lot higher.
6, since that's like a D in passing.
Yeah.
5, I wouldn't give it like an F.
Yeah.
But
that's okay, that's fair. Yeah, it's not as bad as a lot of people make it out to be. But now we're going to jump to the next movie, which I don't like, which is Attack of the Clones. I know. I
always pick on me for it.
I know. I'm sorry. But, dude,
No, it's okay. It was funny.
I hate this movie. I hate Attack of the Clones. It's like tied between that and The Last Jedi for me. You like this movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to know, and this is not me making fun of you, I promise. Why do you like Attack of the Clones, Anton?
Honestly, I kind of enjoy it because you can kind of see Anakin's path and him starting to let his emotions get to him into Revenge of the Sith. That's
true. That is true. Don't get me wrong, there are good parts of this movie, which I will mention, I promise. I like that, though. Is there anything you like about this movie, besides laughing at it?
Like,
no?
Probably the same thing. Like, instead of seeing Anakin as a tiny little kid, you kind of get to see him, like, grow up and, like...
Yeah.
I don't know.
And here's the thing about... this movie. I don't fault Hayden Christensen. I don't fault him for his bad acting. I fault George Lucas. Because George Lucas... I've seen the behind the scenes where George Lucas is literally just looking around, doing whatever he wants. And he just doesn't tell Hayden Christensen what to do. They're just like... Yeah, just do it. If you're a director, you've got to be able to drive the character. And I really felt like with a lot of it, I blame George Lucas. Because there are scenes in this movie that I do enjoy. And I don't think Hayden Christensen's that bad of an actor. There are a few scenes, I forgot, that one scene where he goes back and he meets with his mom, his mom dies. That one scene, that was really good. There's a lot of scenes in that movie, I'm like, you know what? Not bad.
You could see like the anger come out of him.
Exactly. And if you watch that and then you watch the Clone Wars, especially at the end of the Clone Wars show, you really see his turn close to Darth Vader, and I think that's really cool. So they got a couple parts right. But the worst part in this movie, you guys have to agree with me, is the relationship between them. It is so bad. Sorry, my lady. It's so bad. Yeah, it's like an on and like, dude, just pick what you guys want to do. Sorry, my lady. It's so like there's so many.
Like,
I don't like sand.
I don't like sand.
It's like, why are you bringing that up?
Let me ask you a question. If you were with your loved one, like let's say you guys were on your hunt, it's coarse and it's rough. It's like, what are you talking about? Like,
just trying to sweet talk her. Yeah, you try to sweet talk her.
Yeah, it's like, what? That's not sexy.
Sorry, my lady part, it makes me die of laughter.
Because of his face.
But when she's like, it makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah. She just leaves. I'm like, I don't blame you, dude. But yeah, it's like, imagine you guys being on your honeymoon with the person that you love, you just got married. Imagine you're standing outside the balcony. I guarantee you guys wouldn't say, I don't like sand.
Yeah, look him dead in the eyes and be like, I don't like sand.
I don't like sand that much. It's really cool. You guys are on the beach. You know what I mean? It's just like...
so why did we come here?
Yeah, like, I'm not going to go on the beach. Why not? I don't like how the sand feels.
Right, and it's like... It's funny, too, because Jedi aren't supposed to love, and then they send Anakin on this trip with a really hot girl. I'm like, of course they're going to fall in love with one another. I'm like, what? What's the point? You guys are contradicting your own rules. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any
the
sense at
only
all.
other lady he's met in his life is his mom. So
And
it's like,
that's it.
obviously, she's attractive. He's like,
He's like, all right, I'll go for it. She's into me, I'll be into her. That's not a problem. Also, too, I have to mention this as well. There's a scene in this movie where Jar Jar... So, it's funny. Padme, when Anakin leaves with her, I didn't notice until I watched... I think I told you about this. When I watched it a little while ago, there was a scene where Padme is like, Jar Jar, you're in charge. And he's like, oh, okay, what? You know? And then literally the Emperor, which, Palpatine, he's like, can I have the power? He's like, well, yeah, just take it. So literally, it's Jar Jar's fault that the Jedi fell and the Empire rose to power. I'm like, George Lucas, come on, dude. Like those little things, if you watch it again serious, you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't even believe that actually happened. Yeah, there's so many scenes in this movie that I just hate. I do like the Jedi arena scene that I'll throw down. That was cool. Or actually, you know what's also cool too? The fight with Jango Fett with Obi-Wan. That was actually pretty sick. So the movie has some cool moments. And then I love the part at the end where you actually see like the plant of the Death Star with Count Dooku. Count Dooku. He shows like the plans for it. I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And it was kind of cool to see Yoda throw down. It looks a little cheesy, but I was like, you know what? It's all right. It's cool.
Yeah, I was kind of glad Anakin held himself for a little bit about Count Dooku.
Yeah.
Got me on my nerves.
For sure, dude. Yeah, absolutely. All right. I don't want to rip into this movie too hard. So honestly, this movie for me is like a 4. I can't... There's parts of it I like, but the overall package, I can't stand it. I just can't stand this movie. It just drives me insane. What do you guys score? I'm gonna say
I'd
4.
go for a 5.
Okay. You can go higher if you want.
Like, I'd honestly probably also a 5.
5? Man, we're being really nice to these movies. I thought you guys would go much lower for that.
Would you rather watch Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones?
Phantom Menace, for sure. Most people would disagree, but I'd rather watch Phantom Menace.
I'd probably rather watch
Attack of the Clones, at least I can... Although I can... If I want to get together with some friends and watch it, we're just going to laugh. So that's true. Phantom Menace is just kind of boring sometimes, but Attack of the Clones I can laugh at. So I'm getting together with friends, I would choose Attack of the Clones. Are you asking just by myself? Like if I was like, I'm going to put on Star Wars.
Yeah.
Then Phantom Menace for me, for sure. That's just...
Which one for you?
Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones. That's fair. It got better reviews. The action is better in Attack of the Clones, but...
I just enjoy when they, when Padme and Anakin hug and Obi-Wan and Yoda are like...
Yeah! I know, someone's like, dude... I know, that's hilarious. Like, gosh, the movie's crazy. Okay, so we'll get into Revenge of the Sith here. Did any of you guys watch the Clone Wars TV show?
A little bit.
A little bit. Have you seen any of it?
I've seen some of it. Kind of hard to follow though because
it's out of order.
On Netflix, it's way out of order.
Or on Disney Plus, I think it's out of order. So you can look it up like a guide of...
Yeah, when it was on Netflix, it was out of order. I didn't know it's out of order on Disney Plus also.
I think it is, to be honest, because I was going to rewatch it because I want to watch... I haven't watched the new season of Clone Wars, the season 7. I want to watch that because the Bad Batch just came out, and that ties into the... I have to watch that for it to make sense, but... Yeah, the show is great. The show is really cool. It's on Disney Plus if you want to watch it. But I really like the Clone Wars show because it really ties into Revenge of the Sith very well. So let's go ahead and talk about Revenge of the Sith. This is the good prequel. This is a good movie, actually. I actually really, really like this movie. Not just because it's nostalgic, because I saw it with Dad. I saw it at the Liberty Theater, the really small theater. And honestly, dude, I really like this movie. It's like they actually tried, and it made a difference. But I'll stop loud. You guys are talking about Revenge of the Sith. I know this is your guys' favorite one. So
apparently, when I was younger in Revenge of the Sith, I'd only come out to the moments that Anakin were in. My grandma told me that all the time. Maybe that's why you like him so much, dude. You're like, Anakin's on. I gotta watch him. Exactly. And honestly, dude, he is a cool character, especially like the show, even the video games. Like Anakin is a cool character. Yeah, he's just kind of like a wimp in these movies. Well, in Attack of the Clones, he's a wimp, but in Revenge of the Sith, he's a lot better. The dialogue's a lot better. But I like that. I know you like this movie. What are some parts of the movie that you like, Callysta? Anything you want.
Well, Anakin versus Obi-Wan.
That's the best scene.
It is, dude. Honestly, like, again, for 2005, the movie looks pretty sick. Like, even now, it still looks pretty good. I love that scene. Honestly, that part, even now, I don't know about you guys, but the part where he cuts off his arms, like, I have the high ground. Like, obviously, that's a huge meme. But honestly, don't be honest, that scene broke my heart.
it
Dude,
breaks
didn't
me
it?
all the time.
It makes me sad. I'm like, because I know what's gonna happen, and we know the other movies.
Sometimes
and
I just pause it. I'm like, I'm gonna turn this off.
yeah, dude, seriously, and like,
You should watch it in VR because we watched it in VR and
it hits
different because it's like right in front of you.
Really?
Like Anakin falls right in front of you.
Man.
Like burnt.
yeah. That fight was there are a few complaints. Overall, I like this movie. Like, this movie has a high score for me. There are a few things, I don't know if you guys agree with it here, but I felt like Anakin's turn, if you don't watch the Clone Wars, Anakin's turn in this movie is really quick. It's kind of like, all right, you can just be Darth Vader. I was like, what? Like, do you guys feel that way? Do you think his turn was a little faster? Do you think it was good? Because also, too, Anakin should have been shocked by the Emperor, because like he shocks not Qui-Gon, Mace Windu, and then he's all gross and weird looking. Anakin's like, oh, he looks fine. I just felt like his turn was a little quick, like to Darth Vader. Do you guys feel it was, or do you guys thought it was pretty good, or?
It's a little quick.
Right. I thought it was just a little quick,
But,
a little more.
I can get over it
Because I like the movie.
It is quick, but I kind of enjoyed it because I kind of thought it was cool how he just went and murdered all the separatists.
Dude, right. And then, of course, the children. That was actually pretty dark. I was like,
yeah.
Master Skywalker, what are we going to do? Just like, that's also a meme, and it's hilarious. Dude, there's so many scenes in this movie that I enjoyed. The beginning scene was sick. There's so many. Are you trying to be him?
Yeah,
Oh.
Yeah, I love when they beg for mercy and he just...
I know, dude. It's just vicious. I'm like, dude, this is good. And then, again, some of the dialogue in this movie is pretty funny. Like when Anakin's like, if you're not with me, then you're my enemy. I'm like, dude, come on. You can say that with a little more inflection in your voice. But I will say that my favorite part of this movie, and I don't think anyone ever talks about this. I'm going to mention my favorite part here. My favorite part of the movie is at the very end when you find out that Padme is pregnant with Luke and Leia. And I love the scene where Anakin is on the table, like he's Darth Vader's being born, but at the same time, and the kids are being born at the same time. So it's like a darkness is being born and the light, our new hope is going to be born. And I just like how they go back and forth between that. And I'm just like, that is good storytelling. George Lucas, where was that in the other movies? I love that. And of course, at the very end, you see the Death Star almost done. I just think that's a really, really cool nod. And it ties into that movie perfectly. So, honestly, dude, I gotta say, Revenge of the Sith, super sick movie. Honestly, for me, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. I really like this movie. Really good. What about you guys?
10.
Nice. 10. All right. 10 for you?
Yeah.
Really?
Because, like...
That movie gets me going.
It's a good movie. I'll pop that in to watch it anytime.
It has so many emotions because there's freaking like parts that's like, well, that's dope, and then there's parts where I'm like, well, I could cry.
And sometimes I think Padme died because of the broken heart because she was telling Anakin, "You're breaking my heart," and then they said the cause of death they didn't know.
I've always
in her last words were there's still good in him.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that. I actually forgot about that part. Dang.
There's also I like the part too where, well, I don't like that she dies. Like you could tell even in the suit that Anakin's pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
he looked like
you can't see his face, but you know he's mad.
Oh god, the no, the no thing. His face. He's like, oh crap, we're really doing this. When they're about to put the mask on, I forgot to mention that too. The part where you hear Darth Vader breathe the first time, dude, chills. That is so sick. So sick.
Yeah. Also, I don't know, the scene too, I know we talked about it a little bit, but it's sad because Obi-Wan and Anakin, like, he loves Anakin and, like...
It's true, he does.
Like, Callysta and I watched Attack of the Clones, and then right after that, you watch Revenge of the Sith, and it gets so emotional because you see how close Anakin and Obi-Wan were, and then he just turns.
And,
yeah, I know, right? It's sad.
He knows about Anakin and Padme, and he knows, like, that's not supposed to be a thing, and he wants to help them. Like, he just loves Anakin. So that would be, like, heartbreaking that
and then,
they turn. He just
and then
turns.
Anakin saying... You're the only father I've ever actually, like, had.
Right. It's devastating, dude. It really is. You gotta listen to that little bit of dialogue in there for those little moments like that. That's why I'm really excited for the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show. It's gonna be on Disney+. It takes place, like, right after Revenge of the Sith, and they did confirm that Obi-Wan and Darth Vader are going to fight again. And I'm just like, oh, gosh, I'm so ready. It's like 11 episodes. Don't know the release date, but I'm sure we'll all have to talk about that once that show comes out. That's going to be sick. Super excited. Okay, so we're going to do 2 more movies, and then we're going to stop, take a little break, and then we'll finish up the movies here. So the next movie in the timeline would be Solo, a Star Wars story. Now, I know you both said before this. Have you seen it, Anton?
Yeah.
Okay, and we saw it together, Callysta.
I haven't seen it since then.
Do you remember how you felt about it walking out of the theater? So remember, keep this in mind. This movie went through. They fired directors. They brought on a new guy halfway through. They reshot half of it. The movie did not make it. The movie. This is the first financial failure for Star Wars, like money wise, and it's one of the lower. It's not rotten, but it's one of the lower movies on Rotten Tomatoes. Do you remember how you felt?
Star Wars or just
like in Star Wars? So there's only 2 rotten Star Wars movies, which is Rise of Skywalker and Phantom Menace. They're both like at 50-something%. The rest are 60 and higher. This movie, Han Solo has like a 69% or a 70%. So do you remember how you felt walking out of the theater? Did you, like, your initial thoughts on it? Do you remember?
It was okay. Like, not my favorite Star Wars movie again. But also, the guy did good considering, he came on halfway in, and Harrison Ford is big shoes to fill, so he did pretty good.
The guy who played Han Solo?
Yeah, I don't think he looks like him.
No, it doesn't look like him. But no, I thought he did good as Han Solo.
He did his job, I guess. He did good.
They also had to hire an acting coach to help him. Because, I guess I guess his first couple of performances were like, oof, nope, we're going to try that again. No, I liked him as Han Solo. I thought it was Alden Ehrenreich is his name. So I'm like, yeah, it's pretty good. Anton, do you remember how you felt about the movie?
I felt about it.
That's fair.
I kind of didn't really get any hype to it until I seen Darth Maul at the end. I kind of thought that was pretty cool.
That was cool, especially because I remember we got excited. I heard some people going like, "Who is that?" Like in the theater, I was like, "Guys, come on, why are you even here?" But no, it was cool. It was.
I'm like, if you've never seen any Solo wouldn't be the one. I'd be like, yeah, I'll go see it.
Yeah, Solo, the Star Wars stories are meant for fans like us. Like, for example, kind of jumping the gun here, our mother has only seen the new movies because you can watch the new trilogy and it can just be its own thing. Our mother really liked Force Awakens. She said it was a really good film. I tried to show her Rogue One and she had no idea what was going on. She's like, this is the worst movie ever, which I disagree with. But again, the story movies are meant for the fans. They're for the people who really understand the Star Wars timeline. So Solo would not be the movie I would recommend to start with. But I liked Solo, actually. I like the action in it. It's a really small... It's like a adventure. Like the scene on the train in the beginning, that reminded me of Uncharted 2, if anyone's played that game. Uncharted's great. That's what it reminded me of. And then also the Kessel Run. I thought that was pretty sick. I was like, we hear about it in the movies, we're like, what is that? And we got to see it. I was like, dang, dude, that's actually pretty sick. Although, I did not like how he got his name. In the movie, I was like, that's really dumb. Because his name was Han, and he's like, are you by yourself? I guess I'm Solo. He's like, Han Solo. I'm like, oh, that is the stupidest thing. Close was like, oh, God, that's bad.
I didn't even remember.
Do you really? If we popped it in, I'd just show you that one part. You'd be like, oof, that's bad.
Yeah. You would think he got his name from something cooler.
Something cool, but nope. It was just the stormtroopers like, what's your name? And okay, we'll just put you through as Han Solo. I'm like, dude, that sucked. Also, I got to mention Donald Glover as Lando. I thought it was great. I was like, dude, he did such a perfect impression. I thought it was good as Lando.
I think he looked good as Lando.
He looked good. He actually looked the part.
The action in the movie is cool.
It is cool. There's not really I don't think there's any lightsabers in the movie. It's just guns and stuff, yeah.
But it wasn't a movie that was needed.
No.
But
No.
I could watch it and be fine.
Yeah. I would never ask for it, but since I don't have the choice and it's already here, honestly, I think people dog on this movie too much. I really liked Solo. It's not my favorite, but I really liked it. I'd probably say, for me, I don't know if you guys can try to rate it. I know it's been a while since you've seen it, but I'm going to say 7 out of 10. I really liked Han Solo. I think it's a fun movie if you're into the Star Wars universe. I think it's a fun film. I'm going to say 7. You can try to rate it.
Probably just put it at 5.
5? That's fair.
5.
5? Okay. That's good. All right. So we're going to do one more movie. We're going to pause the show, do the musical break, and then we'll come back. So we got one more here before we get that going. It's going to be Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Now, I love this movie. I think it's fantastic. Do you like this movie? I don't know if you remember you liking it as much as I did.
I like it. I don't like it as much as
As much as me? Okay. All right, that's fair. Anton, have you seen this movie?
Yeah.
And what are your thoughts on it?
I enjoy it. I really love how it's ties straight into it.
It ties in really well.
Yeah.
If you see, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but on YouTube, someone edited it where it's like that last scene, and then they tie it right into A New Hope. It is incredible how it looks.
If you watch this movie and then watch A New Hope right after it,
it's incredible.
Literally, it ties in.
So I know a lot of people had a problem with. They said the characters weren't very well developed because we kind of knew that they were going to die. So I understand the character development in the movie wasn't very good. The reason why I liked it is because we actually got a war in Star Wars. That last scene on Scarif, the beach battle, is probably the coolest thing in Star Wars in any movie. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. I'm like, because you get the ground battle, you get the space battle, you get everything in like the last 45 minutes of the film. It is the greatest thing Star Wars has ever done, in my opinion. It's just beautiful. It's like the hype is real because they got to get the plans for the Death Star. And it's just so, it's so exciting. I just love that scene, man. It's just so good. Gosh, I love this movie. It's so fantastic. But of course, we got to talk about the main reason why we all love this movie: Darth Vader. Now, Darth Vader, that was so.
I thought you were gonna breathe.
I should have. You know what's cool, actually, too? When we first meet Darth Vader, he's kind of just chilling on his own little planet. He's, like, sitting in this weird tube. He's, like, meditating. And he's like, Krennic has arrived. I was like, oh, dude, sick. We actually at the top of his head. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. And then he's not in it very much, which I know a lot of people are kind of like, well, I want to see more Darth Vader, but...
But, I mean, he wasn't in it that much because the next one, like...
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Or I honestly thought it would have taken away from the story. If he's in it too much, I feel like people would just focus on Darth Vader. They just want him. So I thought they used it. So he's only in like 3 scenes. It's the one where he talks to Krennic. Then it's the scenes like, prepare the boarding party. And then he walks away. And then it's the really cool scene at the end where he just slaughters all the rebels. I'm like, dude.
That's the best thing.
Well, seriously, because I remember seeing it in the movie, Callysta and I, it was so quiet. You can hear a pen drop because you hear the... We're like, what is going... You see the red lightsaber? I'm like...
And then the breath.
I was like, open fire! You just know they're like, oh, we're screwed. They're still going to try. That was the best scene ever. I can just watch that. I sometimes just watch it on YouTube just because I'm like, this is great. But, dude, I love this movie. I really, really do. Although I don't like, what's his name? Saw Gerrera. He's so annoying to me. I will go no longer. I'm like, dude, you can go with them and save your life. Why do people do that in movies? That's like it's not just Star Wars. It's like, you can go with them. There's no reason for you not to go.
No reason to die.
Go!
I mean, I guess
Go! Save yourself! Like, you can get on the ship and go with them.
He would have died anyways then. But.
Yeah. Although, I guess they needed him for Jedi Fallen Order, the video game. So they needed him around. But, dude, I love this movie. It has some problems, but honestly, for me, it's like a 9 out of 10. I love this movie.
I think the beginning was a little slow.
Oh, yeah, and the opening credit scene sucked. That looked terrible. It looks like someone did it in Microsoft Paint, like the Rogue One. It looks like a kid did that in, like, Microsoft Paint. Yeah, it was terrible.
I could have done that, but...
Yeah, it was bad. Really bad.
I'd say, like, 7 or 8.
7 or 8? Okay.
I go with 7.
7? Okay. Awesome. All right, so now we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the rest of the Star Wars movies. Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying the podcast so far of our ranking and reviews of all of the theatrical Star Wars films. This was definitely a fun podcast, so really appreciate you guys listening to it and hopefully having a good time listening to it while we had fun making it. So for today's musical break, we're going to be listening to the band called Skumpsters and their song F All Those Who Don't Believe in Me. This is kind of a thrashy punk metal type of band, and on my Chandler Burton Entertainment page on YouTube, I actually did a reaction to this song, and I really, really, really like this song. So I want to share it with you guys. Again, if you like what you hear, make sure you check them out on all social media. Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere where you can listen to this music. But again, the song is called F All Those Who Don't Believe in Me, and the band is called Skumpsters. I hope you guys enjoy. Yeah! All right, and welcome back to the musical break. Again, I am here with Callysta and Anton. We're just going through the Star Wars movies, just giving our thoughts on them, going in chronological order through the movies. We just got done talking about Rogue One, so we're now going to power through the original trilogy because we all know that these movies they're great. All three of them are wonderful. If Star Wars just had this, it would be perfect. It would just be the perfect trilogy ever. I mean that sincerely. I think the original trilogy actually is perfect. Even though I don't really like Return of the Jedi that much, we'll get into that, but I still think the original trilogy is a masterpiece in every sense of the word. So let's start off with A New Hope. What can I not say about everyone said everything about this movie. It's a masterpiece. It's a classic. Everybody loves it.
Looks good for its time.
It looks great for its time, and even still looks good now because they use actual effects, and it looks great. New Hope is phenomenal. Everything about it. It's the most simplest of stories, but the character, everything is just so iconic. Everything about this movie works. There's nothing wrong with this movie for me. It's 2 hours. It flows well. The characters are great. Even the corny parts, I really like. I'm like, everything about it. I'm supposed to go to the Tasha Shades to get some power converters. Like the weird thing that Luke said. I'm like, dude, you sound like a geek. But I even like that, dude. I don't know what it is. I love this movie. It's a masterpiece. Every sense of the word, it's a masterpiece. You guys can say whatever you want about it now. Those are my 2 cents. Seriously, I can't say anything negative about this movie. It's great.
Yeah, especially the binary sunset.
Yeah,
dude, with the music. Oh. Yeah. Like, everything in that scene is so iconic. You know if it gets parodied on, like, Simpsons or Family Guy, you know it's iconic. It's just... Or even, like, anywhere. It's just great, dude.
And then it always gets me when Leia's like, aren't you a little short to be a stormtrooper?
Yeah. I'm sick of the Family Guy. Well, stay here and rock, you stuck up. I love the Family Guy. It's so good, but...
Yeah, it's funny because in Family Guy, they're like, aren't you too fat to be a
stormtrooper? Like, well, stay here and rot. And he just leaves.
She's like, wait.
Like, wait, no. But, yeah, seriously. Callysta, what are your thoughts on A New Hope? Didn't you watch this one in school? Is this the one you watched in school? Because we watched this one in school when I was, like, in 7th grade.
I think so,
yeah. Yeah. It's so good, dude. We had to take a test on this and I passed.
It's
a
good story. It's just, like... I can sit and watch it and not be bored throughout.
Yeah, it's not boring.
You don't, like, want to check the time and be like, is this almost over? Like,
right.
When I watch... Okay, like, some movies, like, it's 2 hours you sit and you watch it and you're like, bruh, this is so boring.
Mary Poppins Returns.
Yeah, Last Jedi. But...
Yeah, that's true.
But, no, there's nothing wrong. I just like it all.
Everything about it is great.
The character's cool.
I know.
The scenes look great. It's an old movie, and it looks good.
Yeah, and they technically introduced Darth Vader into this movie, who was the greatest villain of all time. And he's awesome. He's just great. I'm sure we all agree. It's like a 10 out of 10. So we'll just 10 out of 10. All right, let's jump to the next one, Empire Strikes Back. This one is everybody's favorite, including mine. This movie's 11 out of 10. All right, next one. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. Everything about this movie is...
allowed to rate 11s.
For me, it's a 10 out of 10. Empire and The Dark Knight are the 2 movies that inspired me to want to, like, create film. Like that, those are the 2 movies that I'm like, okay, this is, like, what I want to do. This is what I enjoy.
It's also just a classic, too.
It is. It's a classic. And Darth Vader is awesome in this. Dude, that scene when Luke and Darth Vader meet for the first time, it's quiet, and they go at it for the first time. Oh, dude, chills. And we also get introduced to Boba Fett in this movie, which I don't know why people like him so much, because he's really not in it that much. People are like, he's my favorite character. I'm like, well, he was in it a little bit, and then he comes back, but it's like, I don't know. But anyway, we're focusing on Empire. Everything about Empire, again, it's already been said by everybody. Going to Dagobah, meeting Yoda, one of the most iconic characters ever.
I love how it takes place on Hoth at first.
Yeah,
dude, the Hoth.
Hoth is cool.
That's my favorite map in Battlefront.
Dude, yeah.
I love Hoth.
It's beautiful. And that's in the first one, right? Is it in Battlefront 2?
Yeah.
Is it? I haven't played Battlefront.
What's that game that we play all the time? Supremacy?
Oh, yeah, Supremacy. It's on that one. Nice. Cool. Okay, that's awesome, dude.
It's when they do the inside version of it, though, on, I think it's Heroes or
Villains? Yeah, it sucks.
Good.
Is it really?
It's just cool outside.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a beautiful... dude, even the first game, like, the first Battlefront, the new first Battlefront, say what you want, The game looked gorgeous, and man, Hoth looked incredible. The whole scene is so iconic. I'm like, everything about it with the whole like going around the AT-ATs, and I'm like, this is so. That was even parodied in Civil War. Remember when Spider-Man did that to Ant-Man? I'm like, dude, it's like, it's just everything about that movie.
And I love how Han's just trying to get on Leia the whole time.
I know. Oh yeah, and Luke and Leia kiss. That is weird. But again, they didn't know that. But and then at the end, Luke's like all proud. He's like, all right, sweet. And then he's like, oh.
Wait, that's my sister?
That's my sister? That's like, ooh, my twin sister, yeah. Oh, man, dude, that's hilarious. But, again, I think we all agree Empire is a classic. It is just phenomenal. Everything about it works. Remember that scene where, I think it's like, what? It looks like when they go to Cloud City, and Darth Vader's in that room. He's like, hey, what's up? And he's so sick. So sick. Yeah, dude.
Take a seat.
Yeah, take a seat. And he's like so chill. He's like, sit down. We'll just have a little talk, and if not, I'll just kill you. This again, movie is a 10 out of 10, man. It's the movie that inspired me to want to like get into films. 10 out of 10.
I'd go 8.
8, nice. What are you? 9. Very good.
8
9
out of 10 works out.
Nice. That works out well. All right. So again, we're just powering through these because again, we've all seen these movies. They're classics. They're really good films. We'll just quickly go over Return of the Jedi, and then we'll get into our favorite movies ever, the sequel trilogy. All right, Return of the Jedi. I used to not like this one as much, but after watching The Disaster, that's the sequel trilogy, I realized that Return of the Jedi is a very, very good film. I mean, it's got some cool moments. I mean, that was the movie where I love the end when Luke's like, there's still good in him, and then like he throws freaking Emperor Palpatine off the ledge. It's so funny. I love that. Then he like talks to his dad, and he's like, you've changed me. And I'm like, that's what this whole movie's about. Just change and family. I'm like, oh, so sick. So freaking sick, dude. And then on Endor, little Ewoks are cute.
The scene where they meet again and fight was cool.
Yeah, it is sick. Just everything about it works. Also, the space battle in this movie is really cool with Lando. Mm-hmm. Super good. I mean, there's not really much else to add except I like this movie a lot. I think it's really good. Yeah. For me, honestly, it's not my favorite. It's my least favorite of the 3. I'd probably say 8 out of 10 because, I don't know, the scenes on Endor, like the speeder bike chase scene was cool. But I'll say 8 out of 10 for Return of the Jedi. I almost said Last Jedi. I was like, that's too high. No way. Not giving that.
I'd probably say 8.
8 out of 10?
Yeah, I'd say 8 as well.
8? Awesome. All right, guys. So it sounds like the original trilogy is something that we all love. Now let's get into something that we don't love. The sequel trilogy.
Yeah, my favorite.
My favorite. Yay! Okay, so really quick, this is just going to be our opinions. If you love these movies, I know you can't really comment on this, but I guess you can when I upload on YouTube. But just remember, it's just our opinion. Opinions are okay. We can all still be friends, and that's totally fine. But that being said, I hate these movies. Not Force Awakens. I don't hate Force Awakens, but let me give a quick story about Force Awakens, okay? So I worked at the movie theater when Force Awakens came out. It was 2015. I remember my shift was from 5:30 to 3:30 at night. It sucked butt. I hated it. Every showing sold out, even the 3D showings, everything sold out. And I didn't see this movie until like 3 or 4 days after I worked at the theater. And when I first saw it, I loved it. I thought this was a wonderful return to form. I thought the new Rey and Finn were great characters. Kylo Ren, despite the fact that I don't really like this trilogy, I like Kylo Ren. I think he's a good villain. Mm-hmm. And they set up so many cool things in this movie. And I keep forgetting to myself that there's going to be 2 more movies after that. And obviously, Force Awakens was so well received by critics and fans that everybody was so excited for the new one. But we'll stick on Force Awakens for right now. So, Callysta, I took you to see this movie. And I remember you really liked it. Has your thoughts changed on Force Awakens?
By itself, it's fine.
By itself.
The only thing
that's the key word. By itself.
The only thing I have to say, like, well, not the only thing, but I feel like it didn't like pick up Return of the Jedi very well.
Not at all.
Like
not at all.
Like
not even close. They like forgot.
Yeah, that's. Everybody was excited for like Star Wars to be picked back up, and it didn't.
Yeah, it was
like
it just did its own
it's
thing.
Like new people.
That's why
fine.
Yeah.
Because obviously, like
in
it's
like
years later, there's going to be new people. But
yeah,
I also, I don't know. Can I talk about something at the end? Or do we...
You can say whatever you want.
The end I have a problem with because...
What, but on the island with Luke?
Well, that... But I mean, like, I guess it's towards the end when Rey and Kylo fight because Kylo Ren has been training for so long and Rey didn't even know she had the Force. And she beats him. And I don't understand that. Like, that doesn't...
I can give you the answer. She's a Mary Sue. I mean, she does everything perfectly, no problems at all.
But I don't like that.
I know.
This is what I guess I'm saying.
Yeah, most people don't, and I agree with you. You're just like, how, like...
She goes from, like, not even know... She didn't know what the Force even really was. And then she, all of a sudden, is just strong enough to take on Kylo Ren.
Remember in the teaser trailers when they thought it was going to be Finn? Because they don't show Rey. Because they show Finn holding the lightsaber. Like, oh, it's pretty cool. Dude, Finn gets knocked the heck out. Like, in the front. Kylo Ren's just like, whoop, see ya. And then it's like, okay. And then I thought for sure, when the lightsaber came back, I thought it was going to be him again. But I didn't expect it to be Rey. Then, yeah, I agree with you. I was like... And also what irritates me, this is nothing against women at all. This is not anything... It just drove me insane. Everyone's like, well, she's a woman. She deserves to get that. I'm like, well, in Star Wars, I feel like... I don't know. That doesn't work for me. I just feel like I hate when they say she's a woman. She deserves that power. I'm like, well, I mean, she could train like Kylo Ren or everybody else. Like, it doesn't matter if she's a woman or a man. I don't care if she's a chocolate chip cookie. Like, I don't want her to like. I don't know. I just think that people got mad. They're like, well, you're just mad because she's a woman.
Like, no, she's a cool character.
Yeah, I like Rey. I don't have a problem with Rey.
Build up
yeah,
strength.
Yeah, like, I have no problem with women. I'm just like saying like. It could be anybody. I would have had a problem with it.
Well, because also in the net. Well,
I know you want. I know we want to get into Last Jedi.
It kind of ties into that. I guess I'll talk about that later. All right.
Well, you also mentioned about how again we can watch if you watch it by yourself, it's great, but the movie leads to certain things. Like remember the lightsaber scene with Maz? Where'd you get that? A good question. For another time. Like, that means you just don't know what to write. You're just like, I ran out of ideas. We'll just move on. Yeah, it's just, there's so many things. Again, if you watch it by itself, it's good. But you want to know what happens next, and that's when the movie becomes a problem. Because I know what happens next now, and it irritates me. I also hated, too, that at the very end of the film, they pretty much do, like, another Death Star run, like in A New Hope. Like, it's like, this is not the Death Star. This is the Death Star. And it's like, like Starkiller Base. I'm like, it's like the same thing as A New Hope. Like, this movie's a carbon copy of A New Hope, like, without question. It really is. And it's just, again, like, watching it the first time, I was on a Star Wars high, so excited. But now that I'm done with that Star Wars high, there's just so many, like, problems with the film. It's still fun. Like, I still enjoy Force Awakens. This is the best one out of the three.
It's a good-looking movie. The effects are... Cool.
I mean, they're sinking $1 billion Disney into this. The movie better look good. Like, Disney's like, take all this money and make it look good. Anton, we haven't let you talk. I'm sorry. What are your thoughts on Force Awakens, dude?
Honestly, I enjoy Force Awakens.
Yeah.
I think it's a good movie.
Yeah.
I think it kind of didn't really tie into Return of the Jedi, or I feel like the scenario is kind of off and different, and they didn't give us like enough background story on how Kylo Ren turned to the dark side. Besides, Luke trained him, and then one night they overwhelmed him. I feel like they
overwhelmed him.
I feel like
I like
more,
that
backstory to it.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
The thing too is they don't even talk about that in Force Awakens.
Not at all.
They talk about that in the next movie. So like there really is no. Like, you don't know where anybody came from.
The timeline's like away.
Yeah, it's weird how they really don't explain anything, and then like
it's like, okay,
Han Solo came out of nowhere too.
And then the talk about Rey's parents, but she's really just a clone.
I'm like, what? Like,
they push out Rey's parents till the last one, don't they?
Well, the movie went through. I mean, this is what happens when you don't have a plan. Not just with these movies, but with life or anything. You got to have a solid plan because Rey was supposed to be a Kenobi. That was the plan. Because they said that, and then they're supposed to stay. And then they were supposed to keep like what Rian Johnson did, saying like it's going to be nobody. Which honestly, they could have left like that, and I wouldn't have really cared. I know that was a big thing, but and then in the third movie, people are like, we need to know, and they're like, you're a Palpatine. I was like, we'll talk about that when we get to that part. But anyway, let's go on to The Last Jedi.
Palpatine had kids.
Yeah, seriously. Like, what the heck? Like, I don't remember any of this stuff. Okay. Let's give our score on Force Awakens and we'll jump to The Last Jedi. Because I'm sure we'll spend the most time on that one. Force Awakens, by itself, I'm going to give it an 8. I really enjoyed it. It's fun. It's a fun adventure movie. Oh, by the way, I like Finn in this movie. I like his turn to being a good guy. I feel like they ruined him throughout the other films, but in this movie, I really, really, really like Finn.
Yeah.
I think it's a great. Almost forgot to mention that he's a great character. Finn's my favorite character in these new movies besides Kylo Ren. So by itself, 8. Knowing that it ties into the sequel trilogy, I'm gonna say 6 because I still enjoy it for what it is.
I'd say a 7.
7.
I was gonna say like 7.5 to 8.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Again, I'm not trying to dog on this movie. Force Awakens is the best one out of the 3. I'm just going to be honest there. All right, Last Jedi, 0 out of 10. Moving on. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna... There are so many problems with The Last Jedi that I can honestly make a whole podcast based on just this movie alone. But for time's sake, we'll make sure to give our thoughts, and we can go on as long as we want. But I don't know what happened with this movie. I honestly... You know what's funny, too? I remember when we saw it close to... I remember we were both so excited. And we sit down. The first scene was pretty cool with Poe, like the whole space scene. But what we're really looking forward to was that confrontation with Rey and Luke. Because we're like, oh, left on such a big cliffhanger, right? We're all so excited.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, what is he going to do? Is he going to... And then the minute he throws the lightsaber over his shoulder, I was like, something feels off about this movie. It doesn't feel like a Star Wars movie. And I was like, what? This is weird. That was my first complaint. It didn't feel like Star Wars. I was in my stomach. I was like, I want to like this, but I just don't. I didn't like that.
It's just I don't like that scene because it's like they were trying to be funny. And
we waited. Keep in mind, we had all to wait 2 years for that. 2 years goes by fast, but in reality, it is a long time.
And you're like, oh, like, what's he gonna do? He just takes it, chucks it, and walks away.
I'm like, what?
I'm like, okay.
We waited 2 years for that, and I remember people in the audience were like, what the... Some guy said that in our audience. I was like, what? I was like, I don't blame you, dude. There's so many problems with this movie. Maybe we should talk about the positives first. There's only a few, but I will say... Okay. I will say I do like Kylo Ren in this movie. I think his arc... I think him as a character is really, really good. I think they did a good job with him. I will also say this. I think this is the best looking Star Wars movie. I think the action, I think the battle on, is it Crate with the sand planet? Is that what it is? It's like red. Very visually cool. Very, very cool. I didn't mind the last fight with Luke and Kylo. That looked pretty cool.
Yeah, see a kid.
Yeah, see a kid. The dialogue's terrible. Yeah. Awful.
I like the scene where, like, Rey and Kylo fight those troopers together. Looked pretty cool.
Yeah, that did look cool. It actually is a very cool scene. I thought that was going to lead somewhere awesome, but of course we just get blue-balled, and we're like, yeah, this is not what we thought. I think that's it. I think that's the only thing I like about the movie. It's just the way it looks. Some of the fights were cool.
Yeah, because it really only took place in space. They're in space like throughout the whole time. Yeah.
Okay, Anton. Yeah, I was gonna say, Anton. Is there anything else you like about the movie, or can we just rail into it now?
Go for it.
I hate this movie. Absolutely hate this movie. This movie.
It's one of those movies where if you sit and watch it, it feels like it's the 2 hours. Like it really, you're like, okay.
It's the longest Star Wars movie out of all of them. It's like 2 hours and 35 minutes. So, and it feels that. You're like, ooh. Because you watch a movie like Endgame. Endgame's 3 hours, but that one zooms. You're like, wow, that's great. This movie drags on like it's like 10 hours, and it's terrible. Let's go ahead and start with Luke. Luke is awful in this movie. He is just awful.
Yeah, he's not like
Luke.
I was like, and I understand like him being gone for so long. They needed to give him some kind of arc, and I could see why, but the way he's betrayed, even Mark Hamill in interviews, he's trying to tell people like, dude, don't see this movie. It's terrible. You just feel so bad for him because, you know, Luke is great, and Mark Hamill's like, how could someone do this to Luke Skywalker? And eventually got to the point where Disney's like, dude, you can't talk crap about our movie. And they're like, he's like, okay, fine. But Yeah, he was terrible in this movie. I was so excited to see him, and he was just a jerk the entire time. You figured Ray would be that hope of light for him, saying, like, maybe it is my chance to come back. Because they could have treated him like that for a little bit, but he's like that for the most of the movie. And you're just like, this is so not what I thought Luke would be. Like, after all that training with Yoda and how he brought his father back to the light side, you're just like, how could you turn to, like, a grump? I was like, you're just like...
And... that's annoying too, because like it's the last time you see him. Like,
he's it. That's it.
He dies after this.
Well, we see him in Rise, like a little, but we don't.
But, like,
we'll talk about that too.
I mean, I guess you see him there, but like in human form, like he's not.
That's it.
Yeah, and throughout the whole movie, he's just a bitter old man.
Yeah,
it really is.
I wish we
and
could have seen him actually fight Kylo instead of like
the Force,
like the hologram
ghost or whatever it was.
Yeah, and I'm just like, it's just.
I'm thinking, I'm like, why? Since the Force ghost, like, it took so much energy out of him, and that's why he died. Why wouldn't he just come to the planet and fight him then?
I know, didn't make any sense.
He could have saved himself, like, but I don't know. I guess maybe it was just, but that's just, and also with Rey too, she's all over the place. Like,
this whole movie is all over the place.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's just something about Rey. She seems just messed up, and like, it's like weird because she goes from like the Force Awakens. She doesn't, like I said, she didn't know like really what the Force was. She's freaking taking on Kylo Ren. She pulls the lightsaber to herself, and then in this movie, it's like she's never been trained her whole life.
Yeah, she's like
takes steps back.
That's true, because like when she trains with Luke, she feels like an idiot. I'm like, didn't you take on Kylo Ren with no training in the last movie, and now you're just like, I don't know what to do? I'm like, what? It's weird. And honestly, they're on that planet thing for a good part of the movie. Nothing happens. They train for a little bit, and they have some cool moments together, I will say that, but the movie just falls apart when we go to the second side plot with Rose, Finn, and Poe. This is the worst thing in Star Wars you could ever do, is introduce a new character and have them go to a casino planet. That was the worst. And also, too, I've never heard in a Star Wars movie where they run out of fuel. We're almost out of fuel. I'm like, I don't remember any of that in any of the other Star Wars movies. Why is that a big...
They literally just freaking fly forever in space, but then this one, we're out.
But it's like, if you think about it, if that purple... I don't even know her name. If that purple-haired lady would have told Poe the plan of what we're going to do, they could have cut this movie in half by at least a half hour and make it a little more cohesive. Because the purple-haired lady didn't tell them the plan, Poe, Rose, and Finn planned their own plan, saying, okay, we're going to get a master code breaker, we're going to go find this guy so that way the First Order won't catch on to us. And I'm just like, what? Why would you not tell them the plan? Why would you not share with them your information? You're the leader. You're supposed to tell them this crap. And then because of that, they have to go to this boring, what's it called? Canto Bite
or something.
The stupidest thing ever. And then they're riding horses and they meet. It's just so annoying. And then at the very end of all that, Leia's like, they're not actually tracking a small transporter. So they could have gone to a different ship the entire time. Leia knew that, although she was passed out, so I guess I can't say that. But it's like the whole thing was for nothing. The whole thing was for nothing.
Yeah, and then the dude turned them into the Empire anyway.
Yeah, he turned them in. I was like, are you most generic plot twist I've ever seen in my entire life? Like, what?
I could have guessed that was going to happen.
Oh my gosh. I was like, are you serious? All that so that Finn could fight Captain Phasma one more time, and then we don't see her for the rest of the franchise either. Let's go, Chrome Dome. I hate that line. Kyle always makes fun of that too. He's like, that's the worst line ever. That scene is terrible. Everything about it is awful. Also, let's go, Chrome Dome. Like, that is the worst. Like, that's so annoying. Also, too, this irritates me. I hate the purple-haired lady, whatever her name is. Also...
It's like Admiral
something. But, dude, she does this thing where she goes into, like, hyperspace and, like, hits all those ships. You can't just do that. That's never happened in Star Wars before. Mm-hmm. And if I can just do that, why not just do it to the other ships in the other movies? Like, hyperspace is ruined forever because of what Rian Johnson. Like, this is so stupid.
There was
so
a
stupid.
Meme that Anakin and Obi-Wan, and then after he said I have the high ground, Anakin jumped up, and it's this scene from the Last Jedi, and it's him going through all this shit.
That's actually, I'll have to send that to me. That sounds pretty funny. But I'm just like, I don't understand. The movie is just all over the place. And I was talking to them before we recorded again, that I was watching this critic guy. He put this movie at number 1. This movie is hot garbage. Nothing about this movie works, except Kylo Ren. He's pretty good. Seriously. Oh, also, I forgot about this too. I almost forgot to mention this. Snoke. We didn't even mention him in the Force Awakens review. They just kill him. No, there's no background of him. There's no nothing. Kylo Ren just kills him.
I know.
I'm like, he was such a big... Everyone was so hyped to learn more about him, and then he dies. I'm like...
Where do you even come from?
Yeah, I have no idea. He looks like a weird booger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah. Kylo just gets him, like...
Yeah, I'm just like, what?
Cuts him in half.
I'm like, what? This is... Seriously, the minute I saw Luke throw over the lightsaber, I knew we were in for a disaster. Yeah, this movie's terrible. I don't care what people say. Again, some people say this is the best Star Wars movie since Empire. I would respectfully disagree. I think this is the worst, probably down there with Attack of the Clones for me. Did we miss anything on this movie? I think we mentioned everything we liked and disliked. I think that's really... Also, Finn and Rey aren't together in this movie, and a lot of people were upset about that.
Sacred text.
The Jedi Sacred Text! That's right, Yoda shows up in this movie, which was completely, I thought was unnecessary, but if you're a fan of Yoda, I guess it's cool, but unnecessary in my opinion. And Yoda's like, you've been a bad boy, or something of that content looks like, okay, well, like, God, this sucks. I don't, even the cast, if you watch interviews about this movie, there's one guy saying, there's one guy interviewing Daisy Ridley, and the guy's like, did you like the movie? She's like, yeah. I was like, oh, that means she did not. I mean, even
they
Finn...
have to say they like it.
Yeah, even Finn, even John Boyega in, like, tweets now, he's saying, like, I was not a fan of filming this. It was a rough time shooting these types of movies. Also with the Rose and Finn, that kiss at the end, so forced. I'm like, oh...
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, man. This is
She was not even... She's not even a needed character. Like, Rose. Like, why would you, like, set her up to be with, like, a main character? And then in the next one, she's, like, not even in it. Right?
They did that on purpose. They could have done.
Dumb.
I know. Honestly, here's how I see it. Here's how I would try to fix it. Obviously, if I had what I worked, if Disney's like, Chandler, I want you to fix this movie, but you got to work what you have. First thing I would do is, instead of throwing the lightsaber over his shoulder, maybe I just have him put it down. Maybe not throw it, just be like, I'm not interested in this. And that would kind of give you more of an interest, like, oh, what has Luke been up to? Like little things like
take it out of her hand.
Yeah, like little things like that would fix the film. I also think if they were going to do the casino planet, instead of Rose, it should have been Finn and Poe to, like, learn more about their character arc. I think that them together would have been good. Not Rose. Who the heck is Rose? She hasn't been in any other video game, movie, or book. Doesn't make any sense. Like, who are you? Why are you here? I don't hate the actor, by the way. She seems very nice, but just her character sucks.
Her character's annoying.
Her character is annoying. Did we get everything? I think we did. Leia is also annoying in this movie. I feel bad because I love Princess Leia, but that hurt the little floating thing in space.
They didn't give her a good character in this movie either.
No, they didn't. They did not. Anton, I'm sorry. We're just going back and forth. Is there anything else you want to say about this movie, dude?
3 out of 10.
I was being generous. I'm going I think I'm going to go 2. It's a good looking movie. I'm not dogging on that. It's a beautiful movie. I do like Kylo Ren. I like his character arc, kinda, a little bit. But other than that, there's really nothing else if someone's like, let's watch The Last Jedi, I'm like, it'd be one of those things where you have to, so when a friend invites you over, and we're going to have a movie night, yeah, we're going to watch The Last Jedi. You have to make up an excuse not to go, saying...
Yeah, actually, my mom said I got to go.
Yeah, my mom said I got to go do something. I got to go to...
You're 27. No. My mom said
I got to go walk my bird.
Yeah. I got to go pick her up from the doctor. It's 12 o'clock at night. I'm like, well, yeah. I got to go get her. She's at the doctor. I'm going to say 2 out of 10. I hate this movie. I really do. It just drives me.
I was going to say a 2 or 2.5. Wow.
2.5. Anton's the most generous. So... All right, guys. So that was a little heated. Take a drink of your water. We're going to talk about the Rise of Skywalker here. Cool things down a little bit. Okay. Rise of Skywalker. This movie proved that Disney had no plan. Because also as well with this movie, they had a director, Kathleen Kennedy, which I can't stand her. She's like the chairman of Lucasfilms. She didn't like the original story. It's supposed to be called Duel of the Fates. That's what the movie was supposed to be called. And there's actually a leaked script.
That's a cooler name.
Yeah, because it ties into the first movie with that song. But if you go on YouTube, there is a video of someone breaking down the script for Duel of the Fates. And I really wish we would have gotten that movie instead. Because what we got here was a disaster. Absolute disaster. It was actually supposed to be Colin Trevorrow. He directed the Jurassic World movie. And he signed on to do the last Star... Because each Star Wars movie is going to have a different director. It was J.J. Abrams, Rian Johnson, and Colin Trevorrow. Those are going to be the three. Kathleen Kennedy did not like Colin Trevorrow's story, so she's like, you can just leave. So they did not have a director for Now We Know's Rise of Skywalker. So, Kathleen Kennedy is like, hey, Force Awakens is one of the highest gross movies of all time. Let's call J.J. Abrams again. And bless J.J. Abrams' heart, he's really good at kickstarting franchises. So he did the new Star Trek movies, which were really good. He did a good job with that. And then he started again Force Awakens, which we talked about. Force Awakens was a pretty good film for what it is. This movie had so many problems because they knew The Last Jedi was bad. Disney knew it was bad because you could see in Rise of Skywalker all the mistakes that they had to fix. They had to backpedal from this movie. So, for example, the first thing that we see in the movie is Kylo Ren going to... I don't even know where he goes. Goes to that planet to get that weird triangle... whatever. I don't even...
Rock.
It's just like a rock. And then he's talking to Palpatine, which we'll get into that near the end. And Palpatine's the one that created Snoke. So it's kind of like backpedaling for why Snoke died, because they didn't really have an answer. And that's when I first knew, I was like, this is going to suck. This is going to be really bad. Before we get into it, I guess we'll talk about things that we liked. Callysta, Anton, what are some things you liked about The Rise of Skywalker? You're like, nothing. Nothing at all. I know, it's hard to think. There's really...
I also haven't even watched it in a while.
I know.
Kylo Ren's mask.
That's true, his mask does look cool. I will say that. It does look pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, again, the movie looks good.
Right. I know. Mickey Mouse is going to give them a lot of money to make those movies. They always look good. But the problem is, how's the story?
Yeah, the story,
Sucked.
I have more things to say I don't like.
I was
Than...
really into the story.
That's okay.
And I thought it was dumb how Kylo just died right after kissing her.
Oh my
It didn't make any sense at all.
That kiss was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. It was awkward.
It
I was like, what? No, don't do that.
What's up with Star Wars and awkward kisses, Brett?
I know. That actually wasn't. I looked up an interview of that. That was a last minute thing they added in, was the kiss. So it wasn't supposed to be in it.
It's just weird too, because it's like
Finn was into Rey and now he's...
I know,
yeah,
dude.
and
That was way better.
there was no signs of Kylo and Rey being together ever. And
ever. I'm like,
and then
what?
all of a sudden,
She's
oh,
like,
you saved me, so I guess I'll kiss you or something. I guess.
Movie's terrible. Movie is really bad. It's actually a disaster. It's a really short film. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes. But I actually felt like this movie should have been longer or should have been split into 2 parts, because it was rumored to be split into 2 parts. And if it would have had that time, maybe been a little better. But this movie is so poorly paced, and it's so badly... The story is just terrible. It really is. They first go on to find like a weird dagger, like a kitchen knife looking thing. That leads them to...
But they can't even read.
Yeah, they can't even read. It's like, what? And then they find Lando. Lando has nothing to do with the story. They just want to put someone else in there. I'm like, Lando has nothing to do with this.
Also, the scene where Kylo and Rey fight on that thing in like the water, there's not really any music for part of it. And
Yeah.
It makes it kind of awkward.
That is very true.
Like,
That is
Battle
very
of
true.
the Heroes went perfect with Obi-Wan and
Yeah.
and fighting.
It's just like, the movie does so many things. You're just like, they thought Chewbacca died, and it's just like, what? What is all this? Why are you trying to get all these plot twists? Or the one guy, the redheaded dude on the First Order, he's like being a good guy. It's like, what? This was never mentioned or hinted at or anything.
I did think it was kind of cool how Han's Force Ghost went up.
I was going to say that scene where he references, like, I know what I need to do, but I don't know if I have the strength to do it. I thought that was kind of
I do
cool.
like that. Because, again, I feel like they actually...
It was like a full circle moment.
Yeah, I feel like Kylo Ren actually, for the majority, I feel like Kylo Ren got a full arc. Because I feel like that was the end of his arc. He becomes a good guy and helps Rey. I really like that. Again, Kylo Ren is my favorite character in this because I actually treat him with respect.
Yeah, I like Kylo.
Yeah, Kylo Ren's tight. He's a good villain. They do a really good job with him.
He's good in Battlefront, too.
Yeah, Callysta and I mop when I'm Vader and she's Kylo.
I'm not very good at that game.
We're
Close to watch my stream, and she told me I made some mistakes. I didn't know that the lightsaber. I didn't know it ran on like energy.
Yeah, you have to.
Because I was just like stat. It's like, why isn't it working? It's like you have to like let it charge. I'm like, oh, I did.
Yeah, Callysta and I respect people, and we let our 1v1s happen. We never tag team somebody.
Unless
you gotta
they
respect
start,
it. Yeah,
if
unless
they start
do
tag teaming us, then we'll not. But like,
do people like do that one? Remember that spin thing that people use with the rubber bands on the joystick? People still spin around and do stuff. That was like a thing with that was hilarious.
Because like your movement, you got like, what did you even get for it?
I don't know. I don't know why people. I just thought it looked hilarious. I was like, oh, there they go.
Instead of fighting, they would just sit there and spin.
Yeah, I'm like, what? That's anyway.
It's dumb,
yeah.
But...
Anyway, the worst part, going back to the movie, the worst part of this movie is Emperor Palpatine. They should not have brought him back. I don't know what they were thinking with that. His arc was done.
Yeah,
also,
it doesn't make sense.
I don't like either. He's literally just, like, when you see him, he's, like, hanging from this thing. Like, he can't even stand. Or something.
Yeah, like, how did he even get there?
Or where has he been for the past however long? Yeah, what's he been doing?
And also, I love how convenient it is that, like, oh, we find out Rey's a Palpatine, so now she can use the lightning.
Yeah,
now that
the first time she uses the lightning, it's on Chewie.
Yeah, that's funny. Chewie! I'm like, this is so dumb.
I'm like, you haven't been mad before, and you just...
She just realized it. She was like...
it didn't make any sense. Yeah, Palpatine was the worst part of this movie because I just felt like... he was very gross.
He was like blue.
I was like, what the heck? But seriously, I was just like, why... I remember people being so hyped, like, oh, that's awesome. But I was like, I don't think it will be awesome because I feel like they just need someone else to be there, like an opposing threat. And they needed an idea for Rey being related to somebody in Star Wars. They decided to go with the Palpatine. And yeah,
they should have done the Kenobi, like you were saying.
I think they should have. That was the plan.
I feel like that makes more sense.
Either a Kenobi or make her nobody. Because I really honestly didn't care much about her parents. I was like, I don't really care.
The only reason I cared about who her parents were
because they hyped it up.
Like her parents were going to be this huge thing.
Yeah, I'm just.
Her parents
everybody thought it was Luke.
Yeah, I know. I remember everyone thought I thought it was going to be Luke for a while.
Her parents aren't even like a huge deal because you've never even seen them.
Yeah.
It's just her grandfather's like.
Kylo Ren's like, you're his granddaughter. I'm like, okay, I don't care.
Like, why are you doing?
Like, why are you telling us this? Yeah. Also, too, I gotta say, the movie ends in the worst possible way. Who are you? Rey Skywalker. I'm like, oh, that makes me want to throw.
Her lightsaber's kind of
cool. Like where the lightsaber lady come out of.
Yeah, like who are you?
And also, it's like, she probably doesn't. She's like, oh, okay. Never heard of Rey Skywalker.
Skywalker. All right, I'll leave you to it.
It's terrible. Yeah,
walks away.
It's terrible because I feel like this movie ended the sequel trilogy, like the 3 movies. But this movie was supposed to, tie in all 9 of the movies, and I feel like it didn't do that very well. I like the
color of her lightsaber, but also, why is it yellow?
Yeah, they don't give a reason. I'm like, what the heck?
She's like, yeah, I like yellow.
So can I get a yellow lightsaber, please?
But also, I know Mace Windu has purple and white purple. But
I know,
mean, it looked cooler though. But
yeah, the movie doesn't make any sense. Again, it was literally this movie exists to fix The Last Jedi and try to also too with Leia. So Carrie Fisher died before this, so they had to take scenes from Force Awakens, old scenes, and put it into this movie. For the most part, it worked okay. But then, the way they just they're like, okay, time for a funeral, and she just goes. I'm like,
they just put her under a blanket.
Yeah, that's it. And then that's it. One of the most iconic Star Wars characters gone under a blanket in a millisecond.
I think at the end they said they put something in honor of Carrie or something like that. But that's about it.
They did at the end.
Also, I don't like the scene where they're all sinking into the ground, and Finn is like, Rey, I have to tell you something. That's literally, they don't even get to what it is. You have to look up.
That's true, actually.
Tell her.
I forgot about that scene, actually, to be honest. I haven't seen this movie in a while.
Yeah, he's like, Rey, I have something to tell you, and he never tells her.
I heard it's supposed to be that he's force sensitive.
That's also what I heard, but they don't tell you, so you never know.
But everyone assumes he's going to say, Ray, I love you.
Yeah.
I mean,
but also I guess...
she's hot, so I don't blame him.
I guess since the holiday special it really is canon, it ties in.
I actually like that better.
So then...
Yeah,
I guess, what he was going to say is he's force sensitive because she tries to, like, train him.
Yeah.
I love the holiday special.
I do too.
Yeah,
it's actually
way better than...
And it's better than these movies. It's sad because it's a Lego movie. But, yeah, man. Honestly.
That's my favorite. When Vader gives the Starkiller base idea and Palpatine's like, no.
I know, right?
When Kylo's like, Starkiller base, he's like, I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, the movie's hilarious, dude. I'm like, that's actually a really fun... It's on Disney Plus, the Star Wars holiday special. Super funny. All right, let's give a rating of Rise of Skywalker, then we probably should take a little... We'll be done. I'm getting heated about these old movies. Keep in mind, I love Star Wars. Like, I think it's the best thing ever. It's just these new movies are bad and really weird. Good, bad, weird. So, I'll say for Rise of Skywalker... 4? I'll say 4.
Yeah, I definitely put it higher than Last Jedi.
Yeah.
I said 2, I think. For
You did.
Last Jedi.
You did give it a 2.
Or like 2.5. So I'd probably also say 4.
Okay.
Yeah, 4.
4. Very nice. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been the Chandler Burton Podcast. I hope you all enjoyed the episode. Again, I want to thank Callysta and Anton for coming on. I really appreciate you guys coming to talk some Star Wars with me. My favorite subject ever, so I really appreciate talking about that. You can check out episodes every single Friday I upload, and also I have a YouTube channel, Chandler Burton Entertainment, if you want to check it out. Again, this has been the Chandler Burton Podcast. Until next time, I hope you all take care. Hey everybody, thanks again for listening to today's podcast. We had a lot of fun doing that here. I actually want to close the episode by playing a song from Galactic Empire. I actually played them in the beginning of the episode. They did a cool rock version of the Star Wars theme, and I just want to close it out with another song from them. It's the Cantina song from Star Wars A New Hope. It's just really fun and upbeat. So I just wanted to play that to kind of close off the episode here. So again, I want to thank you again for listening to the Chandler Burton Podcast. And again, check me out here on YouTube, on Chandler Burton Entertainment. But without further ado, we'll go and play the Cantina Band song from A New Hope. And again, I hope you all take care. And thank you so much for listening. Really appreciate it.